Hello, hope you guys doing well today. Well, I was just thinking about something. I'm going to take a time out to kind of give you a brief story about since we in this month and how people talk about we in the month of October and you see a lot of people celebrating Halloween. They're getting together with their children. They're getting together with their it's about this time of year they celebrate it. And a lot of people don't understand the full magnitude of Halloween. I'm gonna give you a couple brief stories about myself. Um, One time, and me and my friend, me and my friend John, the guy that you probably see me in the video talking about his child, because we were like high school buddies, right? We also worked together, and we were working around this one coworker, and this coworker was a female, and she had a girlfriend, and so, and they had a house in a neighboring suburb where the store where where we went in the county, the town where we lived at. And what happened was, at that time, there was a lot of stuff going on. So one time we went down and visited her. This is one incident, and I rode down and went to him and talked to her, and we talked outside. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this in the video that you know, and it was just doing your usual talk and catching up and about some things. And the house next door was empty. There was nobody in the house. It was a vacant house, and it was like one on the main street in this little town. When we looked up at looking at this house, she's giving the history of it, and there were some people that died in this house. And I'm like, wow. And for some reason, that night, I kind of glanced up at the window, and I kid you not, there was a woman. It was a shadow of a woman that looked like she had vintage clothes from back in the early 1900s. And I didn't even say, I couldn't really say that to my friend John until we got inside the car. This, whatever was at the window, looked down at us, was looking down as we talking. And as the minute that happened, John, there was nobody standing next to John. His back was up against, like in the area of the house. Everybody was kind of distant away. Something reached from somewhere and tapped him on himself, and he jumped. And that's when I kind of, again, I looked up at the window and I looked at this woman later on, and we talk about this to this day. And so to come to find out, John told me years later that they were involved with Satanism. And I'm like, what? And there was some spirits going down at the house. And that was one scenario. Another scenario, I was over someone's house at the time was one of my friends named Brian. And we went into this house, and something was a cold. We were sitting there one time, and it was a real cold, eerie draft that came in there, and no one could explain it. And he felt something kind of strange, that it was not human. And I don't know what did they entertain? Was it music or anything that really entertained? And I never went back over there after that incident. And these supernatural incidents really happen. And I probably told you about the one time years ago, I messed with a Ouija board. I used to be around people that mess with Ouija boards, and I messed with one by myself. And put it this way, it was pretty. It was something. Boy, I'm surprised I didn't even lose my mind. The thing, and I know it had to be God that was the Most High God. A lot of people don't understand what that means, how much magnitude you're in. When you open up a door like that, the devil's tool is the Ouija board. Because people like, oh, it's just a board, it's just a game. No, 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 no. That thing is real. That thing is real because when you put your hands on it, on that pentacle thing, there's air around your hands. And that's how it's moving. And I did it with a couple of, messed around with that with a couple other people. And let me tell you, one night we did that with some candles lit. Man, it was the TV went on, the TV went off, and then all of a sudden we heard this laughing, this eerie laughing in the background, and there was nobody in the house. So the supernatural is real, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I encourage people, do not indulge in that. Don't go on these places that, hey, if it's haunted, don't. People like to go in haunted houses, and some people have actually got hurt. Some people that actually got killed going into a haunted house. I'm telling you, and or bad things that happen. And you got some people don't understand that sometimes these spirits that people is really an open door. It's an open door to the demonic. And whatever you open your door to, it's going to follow you, and it's going to attach itself to you, and it can cause all kind of chaos around you. It can cause accident things. You might get accidents. You might have things come up missing. You might have something. You might have scary dreams. Something moving, unusual things moving around in your house. That's why you have to watch what kind of even with videos, what kind of movies you entertain, because they release spirits. No joke. They can release something in your atmosphere. And I've mentioned years prior, one time I was with a friend of mine, and her grandson was into pornography, entertaining a pornography film with his girlfriend, and something happened one night. I was over there. We was in fellowship talking about the Lord, and her grandson called up and said, "Mom, there's a strange man keeps running in the house, and he's 20-something years old, and he's going through this naked man is going through the walls." And I'm like, whoa, you know. And not only that, he's seen it, his girlfriend seen it, and the next door neighbor's child seen this naked man running through the wall. And at one point, his girlfriend at the time, he told the story to his grandmother that he was sitting there watching the movie one night as she was sleeping. Something picked her up and levitated her off the bed. And I'm like, wow, this is something very deep, you know. And so at the time, God Almighty, she prayed to him, what should I do? And God told her, go over there, take some anointed oil, and take James with you. I said, right, I'm trying to man up and try to be about this. Like, wow, man, yeah, let's go over and deal with the ghost. But man, I tell you, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was petrified because I didn't know what we gonna get into. So I say this So we went over there, right? She had a prayer, and she took that oil, and the way she described it, that when she went through the apartment, she said in this one part of the apartment, it was dark. It was always dark. And as she was coming through there and anointing the oil, she said the spirits got up and they booked. She said they were tripping over each other trying to get up out of it. They ran. They ran into another apartment. And then that's when the kids seen these spirits coming through the apartment. Because they can translucent through dimensions in the walls and doors. And man, I was something like, wow. And I tell you, I didn't go back there in the room. I stood at the door and I'm in prayer. I stood right at the doorway as she went back there with that anointing on because God gave her the anointing to do that. I'm just sitting back there like a student in prayer. I'm like, whoa, this is something heavy. And this is something that maybe some churches going to have to do at some point. And they have to build up those of you who go to church. Even you brothers and sisters that say that you're Hebrew in the Lord, that you are in Yeshua or Mashiach, if you about that, you gotta be about that business for the kingdom of God, because we are in an hour that somebody's ministry might have to do something like that, because this month is the type when Satan and his kingdom step to a whole different game. They step to a whole different game, and a lot of strange things happen. A lot of strange things like fires. It usually be like a fire 1 or 2, but it'd be multiple people dying in fires. There'll be multiple people who are mass murders. People are just going off the hook, and then especially you taking it with that, and then taking with certain sequences of the one at nighttime when the moon, and that's all that's tied in. And so you have people literally losing their, going off, and then they don't know what came up over them, and they're very accessible to it. I had other experiences where I was dating, and I think I mentioned this one time before. I dated this one woman, and I was just so happy, I was thinking with the wrong head at the time, and this woman can see spirits, and also, but she has a slight mental problem. And when someone have a slight mental problem, they're vulnerable like a child to the spirits. This is the truth. That's because it's like a little child saying, "Mommy, there's something in my room." An adult with mental problems can say, "Hey, there's something told me to do this," and most people are going to disregard it and say maybe this person need to be on medication or something. But there's some stuff that really, because some people simply just don't believe because they don't heard of it, they never encounter it. But there's some stuff that really do happen to people, and these spirits take a hold of people. They do, and it's a high, unusual things that happen. Children come up missing, adults come up missing, people come up missing. I'm telling you, this stuff is really real, and people need to really take note of that. It's an open door, and they take a lot of strange activity. And like I said, when I was at my apartment with this young woman, this spirit was trying to tell her to kill me. Yeah, but she didn't do it, But and I tried, like I told the story in the past times. My friend, I tried to have my friend, what should I do? And my friend, God, the Lord told her to hang up the phone on chairs. I'm gonna take care of it, because she was worried about me, but because that woman that was her background, the reason why is because she had a bloodline. Her parents was in witchcraft. Now, this is going to be something deep that only people who at a different level in the Lord understand what I'm talking about. The spirit, those who understand this, was trying to read, going down to a bloodline, and would ask certain people, this woman who had the spirit saying, who never met my friend, never seen her in person, asking about certain people that was in the family who were sick. So she had to hang up the phone because they scanned on how, and if you made connection with them, so God told her to cut it off, cut the conversation off, because it was working in witchcraft. They scanned to see who's not covered, who have a covenant with the Lord Yeshua Mashiach, better known as Jesus Christ. That's why I said some people who don't go to church, who think it's about religion. It's not about religion. This thing is a whole different level. And who you have a covenant with plays a whole big deal. If you don't have no covenant, you don't have no covering. So therefore, you're vulnerable. You have the mercy of the Most High God. And anything in that realm can attack you and have launched and attacked people. And this is the truth. And some mysterious things happen. Stuff that would happen to you before is happening to you now. And sometimes we kind of disregard it. And like, oh, it's just something that, no. This is something that need to be said. So you have to understand about this time of the month. What's entailed. A lot of things portals are being opened in the realm. People are engaging, even though it look like they're doing some kind of seance, but they open up the portals of the door and they're trying to bring something is connected out of another dimension in order for it to do whatever it's in agreement of. Whether it's a magician, a psychic, a warlock, a witch, yeah. This is their month, and people don't understand this. This is some heavy duty stuff is coming, and so you guys stay prayed up, because I heard something recently that, and I didn't know this, and there's a man named John Ramsey and I heard him on this channel. Brother, he said something, so he used to be a warlock. He gave his testimony. It's a powerful testimony that how he would go in the stores and get these things and everything. That he was born into the stuff. That the devil put his hand on him. Satan himself claimed his family. And so he made the covenant that he's going to make an agreement with him. And so he did some things in the supernatural that he was moving things. And he said, it was so bad that even his own family was scared. Every time he would say that they would come, they would clear out. they didn't want nothing to do with him. And something that he said that was the most powerful thing that I heard him talk with this young man who's a Christian. He said that by people celebrating this Halloween, they open up a door to their children. And why the children? Because the children are easy, they can be influenced, and they're pretty much like virgins. And they like flesh, blood, and fresh impression to these spirits. And what he said was that this thing, even though your child it might be in homosexuality, the door can open up to homosexuality by some. This is how deep this thing is. And I'm thinking, how in the world can it happen? Then I thought about it's a pagan holiday, and certain things that they do. And it goes back to the Bible. They did rituals and and priests and stuff in front of the temples. That's kind of tied into it. And so when they have, you know how these people claiming all these sexual, like panism, transism, and all this stuff like that, they were doing this back in the Bible. They were doing this stuff. They were men, having intimacy with women, but women having intimacy with women, men having intimacy with men, but it went down to the little ones, and then it went from the little ones towards the animals. And then with the animals to physical things, they would have intimacy with animate objects. And I'm like, whoa. And one thing about this, when people have what supposed to be between the man and the woman in the bedroom, under a covenant of marriage, anything outside the covenant, anybody's having all kinds is vulnerable to these spirits. Is vulnerable to these spirits. And so you have a man who been with whole bunch of women, or women with a whole bunch of men. You open up the door to all, and I told this in the past, that you can be open up a door to somebody who had a spirit, even though might not engage into the LGBTQ lifestyle, but somebody who was bisexual, who slept with a man, that slept with a woman. A spirit can enter in. That's why I said people don't understand. This thing is deep than what it is. This all ties in, and it happened in the past as well as in the present. The things that you read about, these ancient religions, they did stuff in the past. And the same spirit is in the present. And they're doing the same thing. So an embodied spirits is coming through with these things. But when that man said that, I was like, oh my goodness, that it can be an open door for other things, for psychological problems. Yeah, and because you open up doing it, and like the guy was saying, people think, oh, it's just as simple as celebrating a holiday. He said, no, it's more than that, and it's more. But people gonna do what people gonna do. But in the next 6 months to 2 years, they'll find out what happened. Then the child start changing. They say, wait a minute, something don't seem right. Something ain't normal. And it's like, okay. Then they'll take them to a behavior specialist and try to put them on some medication. No, it might be, some cases it might be, but some cases it's natural, but some things are spiritual. Some things has its origin. Some people already had it, and then some people its origin. And so when people are vulnerable, people who have mental illnesses and things like that, the spirits take advantage of them. Like if they would take advantage of a child. Because no one believes a child when a child is telling the truth. A little one can be telling you what they saw. And some people would not believe it. Be like, little Johnny and little Susie guy, she got an active imagination. No, because they appear to children. There's some children that can see and sense things that adults don't have. There's some people there are children that have a relationship, God has a relationship with, and He can talk to them. That's why they're able to open up. There's children, little babies can see angels. We can't see them, but they can see them because they're vulnerable. And it's happened at a certain age. And so what I'm saying at this hour, giving you a realistic point of how this stuff really is, and what doors does it open, and the good and the bad, and how it is. And people are so defiant. See, the church, Christians, the ones who have a covenant, the ones who understand the covenant through Jesus Christ, the ones who get baptized, the ones who receive the Spirit, the ones who have a good understanding, the one who properly prays, the ones who properly they understand this. Some Christians don't understand this because they were never taught this in different denominations. And then some pastors and some ministers they get scared about it. So they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want and think about not talking about it. Well, it's going to go away. But no, it's not going to go away, because you're going to encounter something sooner or later. If you don't encounter, your child going to encounter something, and you're not going to be able to understand it. So that's why the Most High God, through His Son Yeshua Mashiach, better known as Jesus Christ, trying to get us to where it is. Not to focus on all this other stuff that happens in the church, is to get prepared. Because sometimes the greatest fight is that the enemy try to do is get the battle of the mind, to take your mind. So if you take your mind, you can feel like you eventually get to your heart, and you stray away from the Most High God. That's what He's trying to do. And so people don't have the patience and have time to wait on the Most High God. So they try to go outside the Most High God, and end up going, trying to get some power of the dark side, trying to get whatever it is, to try to maneuver and drum up something and make a pact with the devil in whatever arena that he controls. He controlled the witches, the warlocks, the psychics, the magicians, and all the spiritual, and all the people. Whether a witch can tell you that, it don't matter. He reign over that. Anything that opposes to the Most High God, he gives them a certain amount of ability to do it. But they don't have the ability like God through His Spirit. But they do have some type of power, and they do. And they operate at a certain hour of the night into the morning and everything. And every time during an hour of it, on everything, it gets greater and greater. Because what happens is during an hour, a lot of spiritual activity increase. While most of us probably sleep about from 12 to 4 or 5 in the morning, they're up doing the stuff like that. This is that you got to understand what's going on. That's why sometimes the Father will have certain individuals who have a relationship, have them wake them up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and start praying. And I've been guilty of not doing that myself. And as I'm seeing you, I get caught up in videos and stuff. But as I'm telling you this is the reason why. It's not about religion. It's not about doing ritual and religion. This is about spiritual warfare, and it's real. Because what takes place in the prayer affects whatever come from eternity, affects the natural. What you be praying to the Father, He's already taken care of in the spirit realm. It could be something that could be coming at you or your friends or your family members. And something's going to happen 2 or 3 days ahead, or it could be a week, it could be that hour, it could be that minute, and it could be that day, and Satan might have an assignment and it was cut off. Now his assignment is cut off. That's what prayer and fasting do. It cuts off the Father who communicates with you, is letting you know what's going on through His Spirit. He lets you know everything. He don't hide anything. Anybody that's been fasting in prayer, that's what kind of relationship. And while we've been praying, and while we're fasting and worshiping, and however you fast and you pray, He's open it up to understand. He lets you know, because you built that relationship with Him. So like the Most High God, Almighty of the universe and everything in this earth and everything out in the constellations, is letting you know what's going on at this hour, and why it's important to have a relationship with Him, and how this is. And I'm guilty of, like most people, I got distracted with things too, and what's going on. But it's trying to get back to that point that we have to give Him His time. At least try to get back and doing prayer, even if 30 minutes a day, build up to an hour, build up to 2 hours, give Him that time in prayer. Build it back up, because sometimes we can get cut off in communication with the Father when we kind of stray away from His not only just His Word, but just in fellowship and relationship with Him, because this is very important. So, and sometimes maybe your family might not understand that, your friends might understand that. They think going to a movie or going to haunted houses, but they don't understand that when you do that, you open up the door. I like to go to the movies too, but there's certain movies I will not entertain, especially horror movies. Because somebody who ever created those images for Hollywood, something, they went to another realm to get them images. And Satan gave them so they can manifest so they can manifest through your eyesight. Because the Bible said the ears and the eyes is the windows to the soul. And it goes back in your subconscious. I try to tell my friend that, he just, my friend John, that because he likes to entertain all kinds of movies. Some movies you just can't entertain. And I know I'm a big movie, I like to see movies like anybody else, but you got to be wise of what you entertain. Because once you see it, whether it's at the movies or on video, on the computer or on TV, that image is coming through, and it's subjecting your mind. And it gets those some images I've seen so scary, man. You ain't got what to pray, because you got to pray that you don't see that in the subconscious of your dreams. That's how powerful an image can be. So this, you need to really watch what your eyes see and what your ears hear, because that's how in the realm they come through, because that's how they claim a body. That's how the darkness claims a body. That's how they enter in, and they change your whole personality. They go through your soulish realm and change your whole personality. This is what they do. This is what spirits do. This is why when you hear about the famous story about the men, those of who you go to church, and you hear about this man had legions of demons, and he said a legion of demons. One person can get a legion of spirit, a fallen demonic spirits in them. Think about that. And it didn't say how it got it in them. It didn't say how the book didn't say that, and that all these demons gave him the ability that no man can hold him. That he had strength of 1,000, 10 men. And you know the story. That stuff is real. And the spirits that you hear about in the Bible, they're here in the earth today. They never left. They never left. That's why God have his. He said he will not leave you orphan, because his kingdom is down here. Even though we live in a dark world, his kingdom is here, and they're here to sign to do certain things around individuals, even the ones that probably haven't had a covenant with them yet. He saves certain people. You ever notice that some people come close to getting in accidents, fires? Something almost could have took them out, but you hear about another person that happened to, and they didn't live. But that person that went through that same scenario might have been in a car accident. That person survived. Another person had the same accident. That person didn't. It was their time to go. Some people might survive a certain illness, disease. This is how deep it is. Sin is also a manifestation of things that open up the door to other things in our body. This is all tied in to this month, Halloween. I'm talking about spirits. I'm talking about things on both sides of the track, the good and the bad. But the bad is trying to do their part, to claim territories, cause high level of death, destruction, fires, drownings, unusual things that happen. You must understand what this really is. And some people don't like to. Some people might not like this message, but it's the truth. when I made the thing of I made a video about the angels, and I wonder like, wow, why that? And I do believe the reason why when I think back about it is like God had I do believe God have certain people that He really loved and He really watches and He really trying to get a connection through. So He used His angels to get connected to. And just like that one guy that had his experience that's telling you about the different angels, he has a certain presence about he's trying to connect because sometimes we get as human beings we get caught up in our own daily activity. We get caught up with our TVs, our computers, our phones, our friends. We have so much things distracting around us that sometimes the only way to the Lord can get our attention will be sleep. Because we got so many things and people calling you and things. So sometimes He has to come in when you're not distracted, when you're not watching TV, and when you're not listening to the radio, and listening to secular music and things like that. So the spirit realm is really real, right now, and people who ignorantly don't understand this, they need to read and watch the origins of Halloween. And people might, some people might just say, oh, well, that just happened. They did that back in 1800. It's not. The spirit of it is today. You got to understand, the spirit of it is today, and it will affect your children of today. Celebrate Halloween, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. And if you anticipate in Halloween, it's going to affect your child in some form or fashion. And it might affect them as they're growing up. That's once a spirit can go into a child, grow up with the child, and cause that child to rebel. They mature with the child. This is what we're trying to tell you. You got to understand. You got to understand where the kingdoms are, and He leave that in. And if someone is not praying over that child, that child don't have a covenant, well, that child is going to be left over until someone has to lay it on someone's heart to bring that child over here. Then God will reveal to that person what's in that child. And you don't even, and then some people, that's why I said some people who are of the Most High God, who really hear and see and know His voice, tell them what's going on. God communicates to people today. There are people that move in the signs and wonders of God today. They might not do some miraculous thing, but they move in signs and wonders, and they always give the glory back to Him. I was around, and then some individuals like that. I seen it with my own eyes. So this is the month to really think about. And a lot of people don't understand this. From all walks of life, all races and walks of life. They don't understand what this really entails. This can affect your environment around you. Every time a certain holiday is opened up, it opens up a portal, a door into that year, into the next year. This is the truth. That's why you might think some people are strange for not celebrating. No, they're not, because they know the truth behind it. They was given, and some people may not understand. But I had to let you know about my testimony, and that was the bad thing. Like I told you about the Ouija board, man. That was just one of the things that happened to me, and it was another. I had a roommate that said he was trying to summon something when I was away at college, trying to summon something out of the realm, saying that he can summon something. And I said, I don't want you summoning nothing. I don't want to know what you summon. And whatever you summon, you unsummon it back. And he woke up the next day. He was spooked. He was purity, like he was pale. He was white. And you know why he was spooked? Because in that dream, he said he saw two angels he saw a Native American Indian woman. The angels warned him, he does that again, his soul will be required. And he'd be sent over to the other side. I don't know if he ever turned his life to Christ or not, but he was spooked. And he wasn't high, he wasn't drunk on nothing. He tried, you know how some young people are when they lay at college, they want to try different things. Well, he found the hard way. Because that kingdom came to him and let them know. The angels of God let him know what he did was foul. But I wasn't agreeing with it. I said, no, don't whatever you did, send it back. This is how people do stuff. It sounds kind of bizarre and crazy, but this stuff does happen. People go off into little things, and it may be something as simple as like a little movie like Dungeons and Dragons and Harry Potter. No. This stuff, you entertain stuff like that. And have you ever noticed all those people don't think about this. All those people, even though that we all have the time to live, we all have the time to die. That's true. But majority of those people who was in that movie have passed away. Something to think about. Most people start movies. I understand some people get sick, they get older, but man, there's some people have some strange incidents. Mysteriously passed away. They was a good damn actor and actresses, but they passed away. Sometimes you can leave a door open in some actors in what you divulge it, and what covenant you make with Satan. And death comes and come and take your soul. The spirit of death comes. You need to understand how serious this thing is. What you give a covenant to, life or death, it comes down to that. It ain't just about entertainment. It's a warfare out here. It's a warfare over souls. Literally a warfare over souls. There's a warfare, believe it or not, over people's souls. And there are people leaving here. Not just elderly people, old people, young people, some youngest children, youngest babies are leaving. Their souls are leaving. There were some people that were not supposed to leave this planet. These spirits also, you see a lot of people commit suicide. The spirit of suicide can come on somebody. You gotta understand. Oh, this person had. And you've been around this person. You know something happened to this person. Something happened. Something they were. Even though you've been around this and you see they know your behavior, they say normal. All of a sudden, they can fall into instant depression, or they can all of a sudden start hearing voices. I have witnessed that. A perfectly normal person, this can happen to. Watch what you celebrate. And if you're not sure, get on your hands, fast, get on your hands and knees and pray, and ask God Himself, let Him show you that what I'm speaking to you, is it true or not. Have His Spirit show you that what I'm speaking to you is as true or not. Let Him lead you in all truth. Because it's happening as we speak. This is a reality that's happening. Some people were not supposed to leave here. Some people were not supposed to die. They died before their time. And possibility, in some cases, they could have opened up a door. This is what it comes down to. And if you don't have a proper relationship before you leave this earth with the Most High, may God have mercy on your soul. that, but I just want to make this message uh, about this month. So, and the reason why you've been blessed, some God kept you safe from fires. God could have kept you safe from being robbed. God could have kept you away from an accident. God, whatever He could have kept you away from. You don't know that you could have been going down that same road. That person lost his life. That it was supposed to be meant for you. That's how deep this thing is. That's why His kingdom, His angels are there. And the devil in his kingdom was trying to see that they could take you out. They did to make you go crazy, take you out. They did to say, nope, not their time. This is when people celebrate death and they put death in celebrating skeletons and stuff like that. They don't even know this. Putting it holiday decorations and everything, they don't know it. They celebrate death. The spirit of death is coming. It's just something for the entertainment. You open, I'm trying to tell you. You open up the spirit of death. That Hades. So this is what this month means. And those of you who have a relationship with the Lord, get closer to Him. Get closer. Get close. No matter what denomination you are, get close to Him. Get very close. Because the devil gonna ram his head like I don't know what. He's taking people out, making sure he can take as many as he can. Because that's why he's caused so much chaos on the earth. That's why. This is warfare. And too bad ain't enough pastors, ministers, reverends, whatever. They're not in tune with the Father to see this. Because the ones that were not just worrying about their own self-centered, passive reason with the watered down word, but the ones who really be in the face of the Father. The ones who really love the people, who the one that they were called, what is trying to tell you what's about to go down. Because they read His word, they fasting, they constant, men and women, and they come with their body, even their members. There's two kingdoms in this world, there's good and evil. Believers and non-believers. And but the Most High God wants you to make the choice. He's not going to force you. But He wants you to make a choice because that was the whole purpose of the one dying, why He sent the one we call Jesus come to the cross and die. So you can have a choice and have that covenant with Him. And come into life as we speak. And then he will open up your understanding about these holidays. And you can hear from yourself when you fast and you pray. And then in your fasting and praying, you can ask Him questions yourself. Because he's no respecter of person. He could glad tell you anything. Because he knows what's best for your soul. That's why. He wants that relationship with you. The kingdom of God wants that relationship with you. It's not about religion. This comes down to coming to life and death. It's not about denomination of it. And who you have a covenant with, especially who you got a covenant with. And the one you have a covenant with, it should shake hell. If the one who you have a covenant don't shake hell, you got a problem. If you don't have the one that can, I mean, to the point you say that name, and everything had to stop and had to. Oh, we gotta get up out of here. The devil and his fallen spirits have to get up out of here. Mention a name. That's the one. If you in covenant with that one, that's the truth. All these other people that got covenants with all these other gods, devil ain't scared of them. He laughing at them. They don't pose no threat. I'm sorry, it's a fact. That's why stuff keep happening to them. Because it's no matter a believer or non-believer, whatever religion, whatever denomination. If you don't have a proper covenant with somebody, you could be susceptible to things. And you better pray to God have mercy. And if something coming your way, that He waved that incident off. It could be an accident. It could be a fire. It could be anything. We don't know what waits for us tomorrow. Unusual things happen because eternity is right next to time. We are in time, and eternity is right next to it. And eternity can step into time and do what they do and go back into eternity. Both kingdoms can do this. God's kingdom can do it, and the devil's kingdom can do it. This is something you need to think about. What side of the kingdom do you want to be on? Would you want to be on the light side or the dark side? Because if you're on the dark side, they'll give you what you want, but you make a covenant, they're going to require your soul, which is a warlock covenant, require their soul. And the devil will take you out, and God said, hey, you didn't ask me for a covenant. Go over to Satan. Then Satan can take you out. Send death take you out. That's a fact. But if God don't have the mercy, say, I see something in this person. No, you're not going to take them out. Then you have the word of the Almighty, who control eternity, time, eternity, and everything in between, and what are portal dimensions that's in the earth and out of the earth. And a lot of people don't give him a credit for it, but he's the only one who can stop it. I don't care if it's 15,000 aliens out there with ships. He can stop them. He's the Almighty. He's the one that spoke life into the universe. You don't think he can stop him? And people make their possession wandering and really worship the aliens. You're worshiping the wrong one. The one you need to be worshiping, thinking about, is the one that spoke eternity, make time from eternity. The one that put the moon in the constellation of stars you see out there at nighttime. The one that positioned the sun the way it's at. That's the one you need to have a covenant with. The one that gives light to the sun and the moon. That's the one you need to have a covenant with. That's the one. That's the one. But today's society, we don't do that. And that's got, I don't know how he feel about that. That's got to, but hey, so this is a message. What covenant are you going to celebrate? The covenant of this month of death, Hades, and hell? Or are you going to celebrate life? Or are you going to make an excuse about it because you want to pass it down to your kids? Because if you decide to watch what's coming, God's going to show you. He might have to let you show you, because some people don't believe stuff until something happens. They don't believe it until it happens to them, and wonder how this happened, everything. Then he has to bring it to your remembrance why it happened. Think about what I'm saying. So, yeah. So as you people getting their candies and putting on their costumes, think about it. And some Christians gonna try to rename it another name, try Well, we don't want to say Halloween. We call it Holy Ween. No, 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 no. Nope, nope, nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Don't do it. Mm-mm. 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 Stand before God and he'll tell you. See? Mm-mm. So, I ain't trying to be a party pooper, but hey, sometimes some people have to give you a message. And sometimes the message ain't so good. It ain't so pleasant. But if someone love you and care about you, they try to save your soul. Sometimes some people might not like what you say. Sometimes it can be your own parents, but your parents or your grandparents. But if they have the wisdom of God, they try to save your soul. And you might not like the way the words come out. You might not like the way what they say, and you might not see it at that time. But some people are trying to save your soul, not trying to compromise. Because compromise. Because they want you to make it. They want your children to make it. They want you to make it. People around you to make it. That's all what it's about. People think it's just something harmless, but it has a door to open the door to something. And as I told you in my stories, it's the truth. I played around with the supernatural. I know that's true. I know it's real. I know eternity is real. I know the Bible is real. I know the kingdom of God is real. I know heaven is real. I know hell is real. I've experienced them both. I have experienced them both. And when I experienced hell, it almost manifested in my house through that Ouija board. It literally manifested. It was the mercy of the Most High God through His Son Yeshua. They stopped it because I didn't know how far deep I was going. Mess around with the supernatural. If you don't believe me, anybody who have God in them, let him tell you that I'm telling the truth or I'm lying. He will reveal it to you. Because some people are like, okay. Let him show you what I'm telling you. Because sometimes how he show you, he'll send confirmation. He'll send confirmation because sometimes as human beings, we don't pay attention to God. We be so distracted, and then we just blow it off. Our natural sector there, man. Oh, okay. But this is a warning. This could be this year could be the year. Things can step up. You might not see next year. This how serious this thing is. We don't know. Death and Hades is going through the earth as we speak. Take who that God can let them have and who they can't have. It's up to the eternal Almighty God. But death and Hades is going to the earth. And this could be the hour. Satan, this could be his hour. And he's taking as many souls that he can. And laughing as people dying. And then not knowing who, not having that relationship with the covenant of Yeshua Mashiach, better known as Jesus. He know that they're coming to him. They don't keep him company. Kicking hell rocks down there. And then he's telling some people that I don't believe you either. I don't believe there's no devil. He's laughing about that. He's laughing at when you don't believe him or believe God. But you're going to find out. I don't care if you're agnostics, atheists, whatever. You're going to find out. One way or the other. You know, it's like anything like death and taxes. Two things is guaranteed. You're going to find one. I don't believe in taxes. Don't pay your taxes and you'll find out. Well, I don't think the government gonna come after me on paying my taxes after I make $250,000 a year. Find out. You'll find out next 5 years. I don't believe it. How they know? You believe it now, don't you? That's what I can say to agnostic and atheists and anybody who listens to that come across this video. I don't believe it. You don't have to believe it. You can believe in the blue moon, the blue man, the tree, and everything else, but you're going to find out one way or the other. When you leave this earth, when you leave that earthly body of yours that wake you up every day, make sure you get around to your life, you're going to find out. Listen to what I'm telling you. You're going to find out. Don't dabble with something. You dabble into it, it's going to require your soul. Remember, anything that goes against the God, I don't care if you're a magician, I don't care whatever it is. I don't care if they say, oh, you could be a good magician or a good witch. A witch is a witch. A magician is a magician. A spiritualist is a spiritualist. They tapped into a realm that God said don't tap into. Because he's over there. If things he revealed, he'll reveal it himself. If power he move it himself. Anything outside the will of the Father, through the order of the Father, Son, and his Spirit, is witchcraft. It's out of order. So anybody celebrating, praying to something, it's out of order. Somebody saying a strange prayer, that is out of order. It's strange fire. If it don't have his name in it, it's a strange fire. I don't mean to offend somebody, but it's a message. You don't believe me? Have asked the question, and those who don't have a cover with, he'll reveal it. He will reveal it to anybody. He's no respecter of man, woman, child, whatever. God is no respecter of that. Because he wants to have a relationship with more human beings from every walks of life in this planet. He'd be glad to reveal it to you. Because he's God. He's the Most High, the Almighty, Yahweh, Elohim, El Shaddai. He's the only one. He's the only one. You said many gods? No, he said, I am that I am. There's no other gods. He'll tell you that. And even though people try to make that up as other gods or other principalities, no. He's the only one. There might be principalities, but he's the only one that have the strength and the power. He's 10 times the power of the power. He is the power. He is the light. He's love. He's the Almighty. And he wants a relationship with you. He's no respect to somebody. Don't believe people in his plan. He don't care how pretty you are, how charming you are, what family name you have on the planet. He can use anybody. And anyone in anywhere. He can take the most poorest, lowest person and take them from that and bring them up. He can take the most illiterate person and bring them up. He's God. Whatever he can do to the human body, he can rearrange it just like that. He can do it now. And there's some people he's probably doing it right now. He's the only one that knows all the organs and blood vessels in your body. The Almighty Father, through his Son Yeshua HaMashiach. He's the only one that designed the body, that made to worship him. So you were designed to worship him just like the angels are. That's deep, ain't it? Let him reveal that to you. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Yes, and let it be at this time that this is something to think about. And if you have children, do it for them too, for their soul salvation. We never know what's going to happen in these last days, these last hours. As people have been saying, and I believe it's coming. You can see the signs. It's coming soon. We don't know what the hour of the day. And boom, when you hear the angel shout with the mighty winds of the earth, oh, that's going to be something. And the skies and the blue and everything out there, oh, that's going to be something. So it's something to think about. Look at what we're going through now. Look at the realities around you. There's a warfare even with the weather. The realities around you. There might be another virus being kicked off. The realities around you. It could be another 100,000 people could be on their way to the grave. The realities around you. So let this message get to somebody. And I'm here to get you to think. And ask the question, who do you have a covenant with? Makes a big difference. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this video. Enjoy my testimony, my story of my supernatural event and what happened and how real it is. And I hope it makes somebody think this video probably won't get too popular. You know, they go this lame, boring guy again. There's something. Sometimes maybe it might be lame and boring, but sometimes it get to the right person. If I could get one person to think, stop doing what they do, and God reveal it, then I'd accomplished it. What I did. Because maybe 99 people might think it's crazy, outlandish. But if I get that one person to think, that one person that knows I'm telling the truth, to let him or her be blessed in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, Jesus Christ. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, you be blessed. Until next time, see you on the next video. And keep your family, your household be blessed, may you be blessed. And let truth be revealed in all matters of fact behind this message. Take care.